see you again. So today we will go into this expansions topic. So which chapter is this in Form 2? So in Form 2, this is in Chapter 2 in the topics of algebraic fractions, factorizations, and algebraic fractions. So first thing we will look at for today is the expansions. So expansions, what is expansions? Expansions is the product, okay, of the multiplication. So basically you times 1, okay, is a times 1 expressions, algebraic expressions with another expressions here. So we will go through some examples to give you a better idea of how and what is expansions and how are we going to do it. Okay, we look at the first one, 3 times x plus 2. Okay, so how are we going to do expansion? So here is 3, right? So 3 multiply x, we get 3x. Okay, look at the sign here is positive. Here also positive. So positive times positive, we still, we still get a positive. So we repeat, for after that we repeat for the numbers. 3 times 2, we get 6. Okay, so that is how we do the expansions. So what if let's say we have a minus? Okay, we repeat the same thing. So 4 times add x. So we start with the number first. 4 times add 32. Okay, so 4. And then don't forget you have this x here. So we have x, all right? And then we repeat the same thing. We multiply the second terms in the bracket. So positive, negative, we will get a negative. Okay, so 4 times 3, we get 12. Okay, we try a few more examples. So C, okay, we always start with the first term in the bracket. So 3 times 5bc, so only the number will be involved in the multiplication. So 3 times 5, 15. So the alphabet will remain, the variable still there. So positive, negative, we get negative. So okay, so 3 times negative 6, we get negative 18. Okay, so we will try another few. So this one is when you have outside of the bracket is a number, inside is a expression. So what if let's say you have these expressions, okay, on the outside of a bracket and then another one inside of a bracket? How? So look at these questions. This is actually a fraction. So how are we going to do the fractions? Okay, also one by one. Okay, you look at the side here, got negative sign. Here is positive, so we put negative first. So r times n times 2s. So actually this is what happens here. Okay, r times n times 2s, okay, we'll put at the side, times 2s. Okay, so add this one 1, this one 4. So we will get r over 4, and then r times s, so we get rs over 4. So then we move to the next number. So negative times negative, we get positive. So r over n times n, okay, we simplify it, so we're just left with r. Okay, that is how we do the expansions when we got fractions. Okay. So next, what if we have expressions in two brackets like this? Okay, so we will need to do one by one. Okay, so we start with the first one. Okay, 2d times 3d first. 2d times 3d. Okay, so 2 times 3, we get 6. d times d, we get d squared. Okay, we are done with the first one. Then we move to the next term. Okay, so 2d times negative 1 over 2. So if let's say you cannot see here, you can always do that side. 2d times negative 1 over 2. So we simplify 1, 1. So we get negative d. Alright. Okay, then next, these two terms already multiply with the first term here, right? So we need to move to the next term here. So the first one, okay, negative 1 over 2b times 3d. Okay, can we simplify anything? Cannot, right? Okay, because we do not have the same factors for us to simplify. So we will get negative 3b over 2, negative 3b d over 2. Okay, and then we repeat the same thing. Okay, for this, so negative will get a positive. So negative 1 over 2b times negative 1 over 2. Okay, 1 times 1 still get 1. 2 times 2 we get 4. So we get b over 4. All right. So that's how we do the expansions for these kind of equations. Two algebraic expressions in two brackets, okay, with fractions and more. Okay, now next up, let us see what if we have something like this, x minus 5 equal times x plus 4. Okay, also the same, okay, we do expansions. X times x, we get x squared. Okay, we repeat the same thing. So x times positive 4, we get positive 4x. And then this one, okay, negative 5 times x, we get negative 5x. Okay, we repeat, negative 5 times 4, so we get negative 20. Okay, so now you look at here, class, 4x and 5x, that has, this is a like term, right? So when we have like term in expressions like this, we must simplify it. So x squared plus 4 minus 5, we get negative x, and then negative 20. 10? Right? So we try some more of these kind of equations. So what if both of them are negative? Right, so what should we do here if let's say both of them are negative? Okay, we also just remember the sequence one by one. So 3r times 4r, so 3 times 4, we get 12. R times r, we get r squared. Okay, we repeat. So 3r times negative 1, we get negative 3r. Okay, we are done with both of the terms there. Okay, then we repeat to the second term in the first bracket. So negative 2 times 4r, we get negative 8r. Okay, negative 2 times negative 1, we get positive 2. Remember what I said just now? Okay, if you have like term, we simplify. So 12r squared, okay, negative 3 minus 8, we get negative 11r plus 2. Okay, so next we have, if both of them are positive like this, how? Okay, so first one, a times a, we get a squared, and then we repeat. So a times 2, we get 2a, and then 1 times a, we get a. So if let's say only a, we don't need to write 1 in front. Okay, so 1 times 2, we plus 2. So we simplify first. Okay, a squared, so 2 plus 1, 3a plus 2. Then we try another one. Okay, 3p minus 2 times 4p minus 1. Okay, we do expansions for the first term first. Okay, 3 times 4, we get 12. P times p, we get p squared. Okay, we repeat the same thing. So 3p times negative 1, we get negative 3p. Negative 2 times 4p, we get negative 8p. Negative 2 times negative 1, we get positive 2. So we get 12p squared. Okay, negative 3 minus negative 8, we get negative 11p plus 2. Alright? Okay, there is also another type of questions where you are given something like this. So what does this mean? So if you come across questions like this, okay, it's actually r minus x times 2 times, like the power of 2 that you have learned in your form 1. Alright, so how we do, okay, r times r, we get r squared. R times negative x, we get negative rx. And then we repeat the same thing, negative x times r, we get negative rs. Negative times negative x, we get positive x squared. Okay, we simplify the like term first. Okay, r squared minus 2rs plus s squared. Okay, so that is how we do the expansions. So now let us try on when, okay, you are asked to simplify the algebraic expressions. So how are we going to simplify it? So normally you will see that the questions is kind of long-winded like this. Okay, so what we need to do here is that let us look at the questions. So the first part, we don't need to do anything. The only thing that we need to do for these questions is the second part here. We need to do expansions first. Okay, so the first one, we just copy it down first. Okay, then we do the expansions. Okay, so copy the sign down also. So 4 times 3, okay, I put a bracket first. So why I put a bracket first? So that later on, I can settle the sign without missing anything. Okay, so 4 times 3b, we get 12. We get 12b. Okay, 4 times 3b, we get 12b. So we repeat the same thing. So 4 times negative a, we get negative 4a. Okay, class, now we need to open out the bracket for this part before we can simplify. Okay, so positive, positive, we get positive. Positive, negative, we get negative 4a. Okay, look at this, we have same term, right? Like term. So 5 plus 12, we get 17b. And then we have negative 4a plus 3. Okay, let us rearrange in ascending order of the alphabet. So negative 4a plus 17b plus 3. Okay, so next, what if you have something like this and then you have another bracket like this? So how? Okay, so of course, first thing we do the expansion first. So we write like this. So in 2 bracket, h minus j. Okay, so minus 2h, 3h, minus 3j. Okay, we do the expansions for the first part. So h times h squared, h times negative j, we get negative j. Okay, and then we repeat the same thing for this. This one also negative hj. And then we repeat the same thing here. Negative j times negative j, we get a positive j squared here. Okay, so for this part, normally for the second part, I will break it out first, okay, so that we don't miss out any sign later on. So since the negative is outside, I will focus on the one inside. So 2 hash times 3 hash, 2 times 3, we get 6. Okay, hash times hash, we get hash squared. Okay, we repeat the same thing. Okay, bring the sign first. So negative 3 times 2, 6. Hash times j, we get hash j. Class, always remember that we settle the number first, then followed by the variables. Okay, so now let us open out the bracket. So here we get negative. So we get the first part, hash squared minus 2 hash j plus j squared. Okay, so here positive, negative, positive. We get negative 6 hash squared, negative, negative, positive 6 hash j. Alright, so we got hash square here and also another hash square. So 1 minus 6, we get negative 5 hash square. So negative 2 hash j plus 6, we get a positive 4 hash j and then plus j squared. Alright, so class, that's all for today for the expansions. Alright, so if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, bye bye. See you next time.